ManoLaya-Nasa. Dissolution of concentration of mind. New path to liberation. ManoLaya and ManoLaya-Nasa are important terminologies according to Vedanta and Upanishad. The understanding of these terminologies will aid to attain enlightenment and liberation. Also, this will throw light on mind's structure and functioning. In this 16 minutes video we will see emotions, SNS, PSNS, ManoLaya, ManoLaya-Nasa. What is superior? New path and liberation. ManoLaya-Nasa. Dissolution of concentration of mind. By SHRI Bagavath. Let us assume we are in a dangerous situation. Now, what kind of emotion will we have in our mind? Naturally, we will get fear or tension in that situation. Instead of that, if we get an emotion of happiness or peace in that situation, then we cannot protect ourselves by running away from that danger. Hence, we get the emotions of fear and anxiety in our mind that make us run away from that danger. What is it that stimulates these emotions that persuade our actions? Psychologists call this as sympathetic nervous system. SNS. Sometimes the emotions that are caused by this SNS continue to stay within us even after the crisis is over. Now what will happen? The emotions staying with us will cause psychological and physical problems. Is it good if the emotions continue to stay with us like this? What should happen to the emotions created in us? The emotions that came to help should not stay in us and must get neutralized. How do these flooding emotions get balanced? There is one another system also functioning within us that neutralizes the emotions created by the SNS. That system is called parasympathetic nervous system. PSNS. SNS creates emotions to solve our problems. PSNS neutralizes the emotions created by SNS. An aspirant placed few questions related to psychology of the stress. SNS contributes to the creation of emotions such as fear, tension, etc. However, the PSNS does not function properly. So the SNS functions repeatedly and the unnecessary emotions like fear and tension continue to exist. Only if the SNS and the PSNS function alternatively, then the functioning of our mind will be smooth. Just because the SNS functions more than what is needed, the healthy actions of our mind start diminishing. What should we do so that the SNS does not overact and PSNS does its job properly? Is this a psychological problem? Or a physical problem? As this causes secretion of many kinds of chemicals in our body, it is emphasized that we do yogasanas, exercise, breathing practices, participation in humor club events etc. to remove the unwanted emotions from our body and mind. Is this the only way we should come out of the hold by the SNS and its impact? He asked such questions. This question triggered me to analyze what is meant by ManoLaya and what is meant by ManoLaya-Nasa once again. What is ManoLaya? Taking the shape of mind. Our tongue has a sensitivity of tasting. That sensitivity exists. However, it exists without any physical form. So we cannot feel the sensitivity directly. When we taste a sweet fruit, the sensitivity of our tongue takes the shape of sweetness. Similarly, our mind also exists with an existential aspect. It has the knowing aspect. The knowing aspect of our mind exists without any individual sensation. When the knowing aspect comes to know a substance, it takes the shape of that object and establishes itself as that object. Our mind takes the shape of whatever object we come to know about. If we see a snake, our mind takes the shape of the snake and then only it understands that it is a snake. Later it converts itself to the emotion of fear. We understand the snake only through our ManoLaya. We also get the emotion of fear and become fearful. All this happens with the help of ManoLaya only. If we mention about this in their medical language, we can say that it is happening because of the SNS. Whatever is caused by the SNS should be balanced by the PSNS. ManoLaya-Nasa. All the scriptures that describe ManoLaya give more importance to the ManoLaya-Nasa. Is ManoLaya-Nasa superior to ManoLaya? What kind of superiority is that? What happens in the ManoLaya-Nasa? ManoLaya-Nasa is not an existing state of mind. It is explained that the dissolution of ManoLaya is nothing but fading away the shape of mind. This is called PSNS. The job of PSNS is to balance the SNS. What is that job? How is that balanced? A road roller machine presses all the stones that are dumped on the road and compacts it. Machines like bulldozer compacts all the humps in the road. Does the PSNS too balances like this? You are writing your name with your fingers on the surface of water. You are writing with spelling mistakes. How to correct that? Do you need to erase the wrongly spelt word and write again with your fingers? Water is not a solid matter. It is a liquid matter. It does not keep any form permanently. Water does not need to attempt erasing any letter written on it. Letters written on the water vanishes on its own. If we write something on the sand surface, we may need to erase that. What will happen if we try to do the same thing with something written on the surface of water? New letters, prints will be created. The state of the emotions that form in our mind are also like this. All the emotions that emerged out disappear at the same time they emerge. The nature of our mind is also like the nature of water. It is the nature of water to dissolve the letters written on it. Similarly, the nature of our mind is also to neutralize the emotions that form in our mind. We generally say, I get fearful. I get worried. I get anger. We only say that comes to our mind. Then we think that we should get rid of the things that came to our mind. We expect that the PSNS help us. Should you try to use a weapon to throw out something that actually goes out naturally on its own? In fact, PSNS is the state of our mind, a natural state. It is something that balances itself naturally. There is no need of any effort there. All the effort is associated with the SNS. It is associated with the ManoLaya. If PSNS tries to do something, it becomes SNS. Rather, PSNS function automatically in normal situation. If we name something as ManoLaya-Nasa, it does not mean that it exists. Only ManoLaya exists. only that appears, then disappears. The appearance of something is known as ManoLaya. The disappearance of something is known as ManoLaya-Nasa. We can call something that appears and exists as state. However, can we call something that vanishes as a state? Through the disappearance of something, can we feel the action of ManoLaya-Nasa? We can feel the ManoLaya as it exists. Appearance and disappearance happen around ManoLaya only. If we have to say this in another way, the appearance and disappearance of the letters written on the surface of water, keeping the water as substratum. Disappearance means balancing. Balancing is something that is the natural state of water. Even the ManoLaya-Nasa is the natural state. ManoLaya is an artificial state. There is an effort in the ManoLaya. All the efforts are artificial. Our involvement and participation is always related to artificial things. However, there is no effort in ManoLaya-Nasa. There is no need of any effort associated with nature. It will function on its own naturally. All our actions are associated with ManoLaya. The thought of balancing the SNS is an act of SNS only, not that of PSNS. The understanding that there is no need to streamline the SNS, is it ManoLaya-Nasa or ManoLaya? All our actions are related to ManoLaya. Understanding the truth and attaining enlightenment are all concentration of mind ManoLaya only. It is only through the concentration of mind that we can understand anything. Enlightenment is also concentration of mind only. Hence, one should not underestimate ManoLaya. Even then, the spiritual writers attach superiority to ManoLaya-Nasa rather than the ManoLaya. It is only the ManoLaya-Nasa that we call as liberation. Liberation is something superior to enlightenment. Liberation can be attained through enlightenment. Liberation can be attained through other means also. Liberation is the ultimate objective. Enlightenment is only the way to attain that. However, we should not think that liberation is some idle or static state or state away from us. Liberation state is nothing but the natural state of our mind. When SNS repeatedly functions, two entities, doer and doing, emerges which delays ManoLaya-Nasa. ManoLaya-Nasa is something that merges both the doer and the doing. It helps in functioning of liberation. When SNS takes the responsibility of streamlining the SNS, it creates a self-conflict. ManoLaya-Nasa is delayed. When SNS considers even the ManoLaya itself as a natural state, there is no need to regulate that. Hence, the doing and the doer becomes one. When we involve ourselves in any games, bhajan or dance, the individual feeling of I intermixes with the involved act without isolating that I. The non-dual nature of mind starts functioning without any constraints. It starts functioning along with liberation, ManoLaya-Nasa. Through this, we can come to an understanding of what is the experience of liberation. Enlightenment is very much essential for the mind to function naturally without the help of bhajan, dance or games. The liberation that we attain from enlightenment is superior, natural and is an already existing state. The understanding that there is no need to balance SNS or activate PSNS or attain PSNS. The understanding that there is no need to balance ManoLaya or activate ManoLaya-Nasa or attain ManoLaya-Nasa. This intellectual understanding is called enlightenment. It is the new path discovered by SHRI Bagavath to attain liberation. Thank you.